Back row corner seat. Movie reviews from the far side.
If we do not unite, our world will perish.
This doesn't need to happen. There is one who may help us.
Look around you. Wherever Gul'dan works its magic, the land dies.
For orcs, there is no other life but war. No, but with the humans' help, there could be.
Why are you here? To save our people.
Can we trust him?
They're beasts. They should all be destroyed.
No, shh. Do you hear it? Can you hear all of the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people cheering at the fact that Warcraft is finally here? This is a movie that people have been waiting for the last 10 years. This is a movie that came about from the fan base, basically, of the game World of Warcraft, and there have been talks about 10 years ago of them actually doing a movie based on the game, and now the movie is here. Now, the movie is a collaborative effort between Blizzard Entertainment and Legendary Pictures, and the movie is directed by Duncan Jones. The film stars Travis Fimmel, Ben Foster, Paula Patton, Toby Cabell, and Clancy Brown. So this movie is actually not being met with very good reviews, and I think that's unfortunate because this was a really good film. I think especially considering what Blizzard had to do here. There were two things that needed to happen in this movie. Number one, Blizzard had to give a nod to all of the World of Warcraft fans because without them, this movie would not be possible, and certainly they did a good job of that. There were things in this movie that you, I'm sure, missed unless you were a World of Warcraft player. There were nods to World of Warcraft players in this movie. For those hundreds of thousands of fans, Blizzard paid them homage by putting things in this movie that only they would see, which I thought was really cool. But at the same time, Blizzard also made a movie that was very enjoyable for a general audience, folks that had no idea about the game World of Warcraft. You could still go to this movie and really enjoy watching this film. Now, certainly the movie was not perfect. It did have some problems here and there. But one of the things I do want to say about this movie, before we talk about some of the concerns I had with the movie, was that I really, really enjoyed the beauty of this film. This film was amazing. Absolutely beautiful. The CGI in this film was great. And I thought that this movie did CGI like it should be done. Now, having said that, certainly there are some parts in the film where you look at certain things and you say, oh, that's CGI, but this is a fantasy film, so come on. By the nature of the type of film that it is, you know that some of the things that you see are going to either be CGI or a heck of a makeup job for live action acting. But where I think that Warcraft got this right was actually using CGI in a lot of places where, in my opinion, live action would not have worked as well. And I think that that's where a lot of films either go wrong in one direction. They try and CGI things where live action could have worked very well, but then on the other hand, they try and live action things where CGI would have been much better because you have much more flexibility of what you can actually do. So I think that Warcraft does a really good job with the use of CGI, even though there's certainly some parts where you can see certain things are CGI, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the film. Now, the acting in this film I also thought was pretty good. The film does not have a lot of major star power, but in my opinion, that's actually really good. For me, sometimes when I have major stars in a film, I am expecting them to perform up to a certain level. And if they do not meet my expectation, for me, I am thrown off a bit, and sometimes it can actually interrupt my enjoyment of the film. But I like the fact that I didn't really have to worry about that here. I didn't have major expectations of the folks that were acting in this film, and they actually did a pretty good job. So I was satisfied with the acting in this film. Now, where I did have a little bit of a problem was with the script. I do think that Blizzard did a really good job of kind of setting the framework of what was going on in Azeroth, especially for those who had no familiarity with the World of Warcraft game. You didn't really need to do that for the WoW players. They already knew what was going on. But there was a nice setup of kind of the backstory of what was happening for the average person that went to go see the movie. Where I think that the script suffered was that they tried to develop too many characters at one time, and they felt like rabbit trails. They were a little uncohesive to the movie, and I found myself being frustrated when I was watching those scenes because I wanted that time back. I wanted that time back to be devoted to how the humans and the orcs were really going to deal with this big looming threat. And I felt like they were trying to do too many things at one time, and it was just a little bit frustrating to me. So I wish that the script could have been a little bit tighter. But all in all, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think that most people will enjoy this movie. I mean, and if the numbers are any indication in terms of how much the movie made, which I think is like 350 million or something like that during opening weekend. I think it actually beat out, I think, Prince of Persia, which was another game-based movie that came out a while ago, which was, well, a long time ago, which was horrible in my opinion. So the movie is doing very well in terms of sales. Do I think that this is a movie that you should go see? I think that you would actually enjoy this movie, whether you're a World of Warcraft player or not. I think that it's very entertaining. So
I am giving this movie a 7 out of 10. Go check it out.
Back row corner seat. Movie reviews from